Now, I know a lot of you are probably of the opinion that I don't vote just on guns. I'm not a single issue voter. And you're like, oh, I don't want this state to turn into Texas 2.0. I'm afraid of all my other rights that I care about. Okay, look, let me stop you right there. So in the state of California, there's a lot of elections coming up, and a lot of them could have a pretty big impact on gun rights as a whole, whether it's just local with your sheriff or statewide with things like the attorney general and the governor. A lot of people have been asking me, Reno, who should I vote for? And ultimately, I probably don't have the time to go through every single region of California and every single county and look at every single sheriff. But if you're interested in maybe what sort of guidelines or maybe some specific positions, the CRPA has put together a friendly guide. I'm going to have a link to the CRPA guide down below. Now, keep in mind, it's not perfect. Not every single sheriff election has a specific, hey, here's who has a better rating when it comes to gun rights. The sheriff's elections are arguably some of the most important for affecting your day-to-day gun rights because the county sheriff is the person who will ultimately dictate whether or not good cause to get a CCW is accepted. We've seen big changes in counties like LA. We've seen big changes in Sonoma County. If you're in Sonoma County, vote for Eddie Ingram. It's the only choice. If you're in Sacramento, definitely do not vote for Jim Cooper, the guy who is anti-gun and has passed and voted for many anti-gun laws and is now running for Sacramento sheriff. He's the same guy that tried to bring a gun onto a plane and then got off with no problems whatsoever. Now, I know a lot of you are probably of the opinion that I don't vote just on guns. I'm not a single issue voter. And you're like, oh, I don't want this state to turn into Texas 2.0. I'm afraid of all my other rights that I care about. Okay, look, let me stop you right there. This state currently has a Democrat governor. Over 60% of the state legislature is Democrats, and the Ninth Circus is ultimately going to be able to en banc appeal any win we get. So if you're super worried about all the other things that you think Republicans are just going to destroy if they get a little bit of power, do not worry. You are not going to magically overturn and turn the state red. However, if a couple of key positions can be lost or the voter turnout can show that these anti-gun politicians like Mark Levine, who is running for insurance commissioner, if these kinds of people that are just anti-gun right lizards can feel a little bit nervous and you do something other than just reward them with your vote, maybe some things can change. A lot of people say, oh, I'm a liberal gun owner. I like guns too. I'm a Democrat and I own guns. Cool. But if all you do is own guns and then vote directly to make gun rights worse, and I understand Republicans have been at the helm of gun control. I understand that. If all you're doing is voting actively for the people who say, hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK-47, you're not helping. If we can provide some sort of balance and checks and balances that currently do not exist in the state of California, maybe some change can be made. Because if you're just voting for the same establishment left-wing politicians who are actively saying they want to take away your guns, you're not helping. But if you can make them sweat a little, maybe 15, 20, 30 years down the road, we see a little bit of a change. That's my argument for it. That's why I think you should probably vote for right-leaning people in the state of California solely to just add a little bit of balance, because currently they can pass pretty much anything. But we saw with AB 1223, which is now AB 1227, the California ammo tax that would basically make every single gun or every single piece of ammunition you want go up in price by 10 to 11%. That bill only did not pass last year because it would have required a 2/3 vote. That was a little bit difficult for them. Even though they do have a over 60% majority in the state legislature, it's a lot harder to pass things with just a 2/3 majority instead of a simple majority, which most of these anti-gun bills take. So if we can add a little bit of balance, maybe we can slow the spread of these crazy bills in the state of California, which ultimately then become the testing. Now, you might have heard me say Mark Levine running for insurance commissioner, and you're thinking, okay, yeah, maybe he is the best candidate though. Okay, well, he's an anti-gun lizard who is always going to be aspiring for more things, and maybe the insurance commissioner doesn't have a whole lot of direct control over gun control. But maybe if policies like San Jose, where they're implementing gun ownership insurance, maybe somewhere down the road, that kind of position gets a little bit more power in ways that gun owners don't want. Just something to think about. Ultimately, check out the California Rifle and Pistol Association 2022 voter guide. It has some information. There's some holes in it. If you're in a county that has, or if you're in an area that has an election and you know that there is a specific hole in the voting guide, drop a comment down below. I'll do my best to heart comments that have input where the CRPA was lacking. Sonoma County, vote for Eddie Ingram. Sacramento County, do not vote for Jim Cooper. LA, I think that's going to be a difficult one because a lot of people are seeing Alex Villanueva issue CCW permits. But is he really truly pro-gun? Maybe some of the candidates running against him are much more pro-gun. You got to kind of take a look at that for yourself. You guys know the drill. Have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace. By the way, links in the description help out the channel. For example, Gorilla Mode, Gorilla Mind, the supplement company that I work with, they are having a sale on their protein powder and their Gorilla Mode Cherry Blackout. Not my favorite flavor. My favorite flavor is Bombsicle, but Cherry Blackout is also a good one. If you want to support the channel, you can use any of the links down in the description below. Thank you.